Hi there, I'm Barbara of DivineCreativeLove.com. This is my first Bible journaling video, and I want to show you how to apply gesso to your Bible page. I do a lot of painting and applying gelatos and ink sprays, and it's really essential to use gesso to strengthen the Bible pages. You can see how thin they are, and it really helps to add gesso. Back in the very first Bible journaling page I did, this was a watercolor page, and it made me so nervous starting out. But I did apply gesso, and it worked. Gesso keeps the paint from bleeding through the page. You can see this one I did with gelatos. And this one, I used an ink spritzer, so that spray is actually permanent marker. It's sprayed onto the Bible page, which I could never do without using clear gesso first. So let's talk about the supplies that you'll need. Obviously you need clear gesso, and I use a 1-inch foam paintbrush, but you can use a regular paintbrush if you like. And you'll need something to protect your Bible pages. I use these deli sheets. They're just perfectly shaped for the size of the Bible page. So you need 2 sheets, or you can use some wax paper, or a reusable plastic craft sheet would work too. And then you'll need something to attach the sheets to the Bible page. I use this removable scrapbooking tape that works really well. The passage that I'm doing today is Matthew 6:24 through 25. And I'm planning on probably doing the ink spray on that page. So I'll need to gesso it first. So there's the ink spray again, you can see. And I'll have another video showing you how to do that. So let's get started. First, you'll need 2 pieces of some kind of the removable tape, and just put one at the bottom and then one at the top. And the scrapbooking tape that I use, it's 3M removable scrapbooking tape. Sometimes it's not quite so easy to get the backing off of it. You might have to kind of pick at it a little bit. There it goes. And again, just kind of use your fingernail to lift up the backing off of the tape. You might have to work at it a little bit. Sometimes it comes off easier than others. Come on. Almost got it, almost got it. Keep working at it. There it goes. And then you'll just flip the page over. And then this one I'm inserting behind the page that I'll be adding gesso to. So you just kind of shimmy it in there so it goes down in the seam between the pages, and then smooth it down so the tape is attached good. And then you'll do the same thing with the other one to protect the page that's opposite from the page that you're working on. 2 pieces of tape. one on the bottom and one on the top. And it does help to kind of smooth it out a little bit to get a better hold on the tape. Alright, now flip it over and insert it in there. Smooth it out. And sometimes I do have to reposition it if it doesn't get all the way in there. That's good. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but that's good enough. Now, I like to work with my Bible turned like this. It just helps to work the gesso in the direction of the page, so you're pulling kind of away from the binding. Just dip your brush in and start working. The idea is to get a very thin coat. You don't need much. Just dip and brush. Make sure you get all the way to the edges of the page. Don't be afraid to get any on the deli sheet. It'll get on there. Just go all the way to the edge of the page. Make sure you get it everywhere. Just work your way from one side to the other. What I like about the foam craft brush is that it's contoured on the end, so it'll help to get the gesso all the way into the inside edge of the page. So here I'm just working on getting it as far in as I can. It won't go all the way in, but as far as I can. And then just smooth it out, smooth it out. It helps if you can wipe your brush off on a paper towel, or I'm just using the other deli sheet for that. And you just smooth it out. You can vary the brush stroke kind of back and forth. The idea is just to have a very thin coat, smooth out any, if there's any globs of gesso. Make sure everything's all the way to the edge of the page. There's no gesso left in the seam there. And then once you've got it to your liking, if you're going to use a heat dryer to dry it, I recommend closing the jar of gesso just to protect it from getting dried out. You can let the page dry on its own, but I prefer using the heat tool. It just makes it so much faster. So just run the heat tool back and forth a couple inches above the page. It helps to lift the page up from the deli sheet, so make sure it won't stick to the sheet. And you'll be able to feel when it gets dry. It only takes a minute. Make sure you get it dry in the seam there. And I always check. I always insert a piece of cardstock paper. In this case, I'm using an index card, just to make sure that there's no gesso left in there. And there's not. And just want to make sure that the page is not sticking anywhere. So we're good. Now you need to do a second coat, just to make sure that you got all the page covered. So just the same as before, just apply it with the brush, smooth it out. Just gentle strokes. Make sure to get the inside there. And as you're smoothing out, you can vary the strokes. It should come out looking kind of satiny. I tried to make sure that all the strokes are not visible, so you don't want to have streaks. It should come out just looking kind of satiny, so you can go back and forth, wipe some off of the brush. And then once you got it like you want it, go ahead and put the lid on the jar of gesso. And the same as before, lift the page up and just use your heat tool to dry the page. There, I had a little spot there. And again, make sure that it's getting dry in the seam there. And make sure to check if there's any gesso left in there. Nope, none on there. Just double checking to make sure the page is not sticking. And now your page is ready for painting or whatever kind of media that you want to put on it. And you'll notice that the page is a little bit kind of gritty texture to it. That's normal. And you might notice that the edges of your page curl up or that the paper is not completely smooth. Don't worry about it. Once you get done with the Bible journaling page, you can close your Bible and leave it closed for a while, and that'll smooth it out over a couple of days. You can leave the deli sheets on while you're painting, and when you're completely finished with your Bible journaling, then you can take the deli sheets off when everything is all dry. Sometimes the tape stays behind on the Bible page. In this case, it didn't. But, oh, there's still tape. So I'm just gonna stick my fingernail under there and just kind of roll the tape down on itself. until it's all the way off. Same thing down there. And then make sure that all the tape is off and the page is smooth. So there you have it. Applying gesso is actually quite easy. It's just that first time or two that it makes you nervous and might seem scary, but you can totally do it. I'll link to all the products that I used below so you know exactly what to get. Thank you for watching this first video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you'll get all my future Bible journaling videos. Bye!